Hi, welcome to Watch It or Don't. I'm Dan with special guest Kat. We are here reviewing The Hunger Games, Mockingjay, Part 2. There's 2 colons in there, I think.
It's a mouthful.
It's a long title. It is the 4th installment in the Hunger Games saga, if you will, based on the popular novels by Suzanne Collins. Is that the name? I read the first book. I didn't read any further than that, but I have seen all the movies now. So, Mockingjay Part 2 stars Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss Everdeen. She is leading a rebellion. They're attacking the Capitol. She's with her 2 companions, Gale and Peeta, played by Liam Hemsworth and Josh Hutcherson. They're going after the evil President Snow, played by Donald Sutherland, who might be my favorite part of the whole series. We'll get into that in a second. And there's also a ton of different actors in this. Woody Harrelson's back again, Julianne Moore, Philip Seymour Hoffman in his final role. A little sad. Anyway, this takes place right after Mockingjay Part 1. And like kind of Deathly Hallows, the Harry Potter, this is really just all action. It's the all climax to that setup we got last year. This is just a war movie.
Right. It was like definitely the most action, the most violent of all of the movies.
Yeah. This is, the book series is based for, preteens, teenagers. Yeah. This is intense.
It's kind of wicked.
There's a scene in this that made me jump. Yeah. And it was scary. I might have nightmares from The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. Who knew? But what I love about The Hunger Games in general, the whole series, is how, we have this great action. We've got this love triangle, whatever, this war. But in the end, it really brings up some interesting points about politics, about government, about reality TV, especially in the first couple with The Hunger Games. I really enjoy that. I think that brings this series up a notch from your typical
Twilight.
not more than Twilight, just typical action movie, I'll say. Now, Kat, you've read the books.
I did read the books.
How does this compare? I've heard that the 3rd book isn't as well liked as this other one.
Yeah, I feel like the movies stayed more true to the books, like, as they went on. I remember that partially might be because I read the books, like, right before I watched the whole series. Mm-hmm. So I finished the last book right before I saw The Hunger Games. So it was kind of fresh, but they stayed true to the books more and more as the movies kept going. I feel like there wasn't any noticeable differences where I was like, wow, why did they change that? And as I was watching, especially Mockingjay Part 2, while I was watching it, I remembered stuff from the books that I forgot about. Okay. So it made me remember the books, which I think is good because it stayed true.
Mm-hmm. It's a fitting conclusion.
Yeah.
The first couple movies, all the books, they're very bleak. Right. It's a kid's book, but not really a kid's, teenager's book, but it's not always a happy ending, and the movie doesn't try to give you a nice, tightly wrapped present with a bow on top. Right. This is your movie. It is a little ambiguous at the end. I don't want to get into it if you haven't read the book or haven't seen the movie, which I liked. It's not the most feel-good ending in the world, but I think it fits with the series.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think this movie is good. It's a good conclusion. I wouldn't say it's my favorite of the series.
No.
I would say Catching Fire is still the one to beat. Hunger Games, the first one was okay. It set up the series fine. Catching Fire is just a little more, it's a more fun, exciting movie. Mm-hmm. It's more of a typical blockbuster. Yeah. And then these last 2, Mockingjay Part 1 and 2, they're good, but they're very bleak. And I don't know if I need to watch them again.
I feel like, watching them again, just because there's, especially in this one, there's so much that happens that in the end, or there were moments at the peak, like the climax of the movie, where I was just like, I don't even know what's happening right now, and I already knew it was happening because I read the books, and I was still watching it, and I was like, I'm so stressed. Yeah. I couldn't even handle it. So I think watching it again, just to really be able to soak it all in and see all the details of it, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, overall, the series is it's a quality series. It kept the quality through all 4 movies, I think. And, on occasion, it did really step up to another level, especially with, I think, I read the first book, so I know a little bit about how the books work. In the first book, they don't really show President Snow that often. He's kind of just a side, they mention him. The movies really bring him to life. Right. And I love Donald Sutherland as the President Snow. Because I love the political maneuvers. I don't really care about the love triangle or the action so much. I love how he's trying to outmaneuver Katniss, and she does something. It's all about the media, and that's where the series really steps up a notch. Mm-hmm. And I think it almost becomes this great kind of telling of what society is today. I think that's awesome about the series. Unfortunately, I don't think all of it steps up to that level. I think a lot of it's kind of mediocre action teen drama.
Yeah, some of the storylines in it are kind of...
Yeah.
But...
I was always Team Gale reading the books, but that's just my opinion. I was Team Gale, too. Okay, well, that's just one man's opinion. Anyway, we should get into ratings before we go.
Yes.
I'm giving this one a 7.7 out of 10. That's about average for where my Hunger Games were. They're all kind of in the 7s. Catching Fire's a little higher than that. But 7.7, it's a good time. If you like the Hunger Games, you're going to like this one. It's no surprise. I wouldn't start with this one. I'd watch the other 3 first. Yes. That's my opinion of this.
Yes, definitely watch the other 3 first. I would give it a B. I feel like I would give it lower than that. I think it wrapped up the series pretty nicely, though. Like you said, it wasn't my favorite of the movies. My favorite was Catching Fire, but it was, like, steady and it stayed true, and there weren't, like, moments in it that were off. Like, it all was... Yep. It was good, and I liked it, and you need to see it if you've seen all the other movies.
Right. One last thing before we go. Watching this with my girlfriend, we saw there's a character who is a mute. He uses sign language throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And we're like, who is they? He looks so familiar. I don't remember the actor's name, but he plays Fulton Reed, one of the original Bash brothers on the original Mighty Ducks and Mighty Ducks 2. So if you're a Mighty Ducks fan, keep your eye out for that. That was awesome.
And he plays Foggy in the Daredevil series that was just on Netflix.
Good to see that he's getting work. Yes. Anyway, we got to go. Watch it or don't. Be sure to subscribe, and we will see you next time.